so hopefully he can tell you a little bit about it. Sorry, that's off limits. It won't. Let's move him right along.
It's a boring subject, really. It's a magic black box that people buy coils and they think it fixes everything on the car, and when it doesn't, we all get yelled at. What we were able to do, it took about 4 years to find somebody that would actually do what I wanted done. I know in the rotary community, there's kind of a split field. Is the D585 the baller coil, or is the IGN 1A coil the way to go? When I had the 1A coil introduced to me, I took a look at it and decided I didn't want to go to that platform because of what I had planned on doing next, which was to take the 585 primary and secondary winding and made it to a different igniter module, with the goal being to eliminate the need for a conversion harness. But most importantly, every aftermarket RX-8 coil will not work on the JDM software loaded PCM, which are delivered to the obvious Asian countries, South America, Cyprus, New Zealand, and about half of the Middle East. So somebody would try to order an ignition system from me. I'd look at their emails, see where they're coming from, and tell them, sorry, you're going to get a check engine light, the car will run fine, but there's a problem with the coil communicating with the PCM. I figured out what the problem was, had my coil manufacturer, after I twisted their arm, they said it couldn't be done. I said, it can be done. How does electricity know the difference of what's in front of it or whatever? So they looked at it again and decided we can take that primary and secondary winding unit and attach it to the electronics that I wanted. We field tested it for several months in Hong Kong, and the thing works, no check engine lights. So now I'm able to sell coils all around the world without a problem. But without the conversion harness being necessary, without the brackets being necessary, and without the special D585 plug wire terminals being necessary, all OEM it drops right in. You can use it with factory plug wires, connects right to the harness. It's pretty cool because now I don't have to bend brackets, I don't have to build harnesses, and I don't have to source these special terminals. But I had something else in mind before Paul set me up, but I guess there's something, nobody's asking the question, but I'm going to tell the story anyway. The Mazda Maniac and I teamed up. Some of you might know who he is. Pretty notorious guy, pretty controversial. He and I worked together to make the Black Halo ignition system, which everybody said, oh, big deal. It's just a bunch of off-the-shelf stuff. You're slapping coils on a bracket with harnesses and everything. Anybody can do that. Now we've seen that anybody can do that. But there's a behind-the-scenes thing that very few people understand from a consumer standpoint, and that is this. When we first released the ignition system, probably the first 30 or 40 people that took their car to the dealer after installing our ignition system ended up contacting me, telling me that the dealer is telling them that voids the warranty. So I said, give me your service advisor's number, I'll call them. So I spent a long time calling one dealer after another to explain to them the Magnuson-Moss Act, for one. Two, the problem with the coils leading to failed cats, leading to stuffed up engines that overheat and seals and all that stuff. And told them, one dealer at a time, that upgrading the ignition system is actually going to cause fewer warranty issues. Somehow the word got up to Mazda North America, and especially Mazda Motorsports, and Mazda Motorsports has been recommending my ignition system ever since then. But, putting parts on cars, developing parts for cars is the easy thing. When you're dealing with a car that's still in warranty, like Eeyore said, most of them the RX-8s are out of warranty, so the aftermarket can really serve them a lot better. But I came into it when there were still a lot of cars under warranty. I spent a bunch of time validating and verifying to MNAO down to the dealer that this is an upgrade that not only improves the performance but will help the engine last longer. It took about 2 or 3 years to get that to be ironclad with the corporate side. It was at that point that it really opened the gates for other companies to come in and copy what we were doing, because now those guys didn't have to deal with talking to MNAO, talking to the dealer network, talking to certain individuals and verifying all this stuff. I'm not trying to complain about people copying. The market will figure that out. All I want to do is let people here know, and anybody else is interested, that what you see on the front end of a company is really what you see, but there's so much more behind it that we have to deal with, depending on which market we're serving, that that's the harder part of it. And so I found it fascinating on one hand and frustrating on the other. But I'm also flattered that anybody would say, well, let's go copy this knucklehead's idea because there's probably enough out there. And yeah, cool, I can be flattered by it, which was why I then said, well, screw it. If you guys are going to copy my idea of slapping coils and slapping a harness on it, then I'm going to get rid of the brackets and get rid of the harness, and then let's see whose game it is now. So anybody that wants to try to develop a coil like that, go for it. It's expensive and it takes a lot of time to get it done right, but it's already been done. The patent's been applied for, so there we go. That's what you do. We fight to have innovative products and then lock it down with the patent for as long as we can. But like I said, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. And you know, when some of us product manufacturers take a lot of heat and criticism for the way we do things, I've learned I don't ever criticize a restaurant owner, a fellow business owner. There's just stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we as consumers never get to see, nor do we want to. So I'm real hesitant to criticize what anybody else is doing anymore, unless they're attacking me directly, like buying my motor mounts and reverse engineering them over in the UK and then saying, hey, look what I have, they're red instead of black, so I guess I'm innovative. A little annoying, but that's part of the game. So as innovators, we have to just keep it. That's our job, is to keep developing new parts and new ideas to the point that hopefully we make our own stuff obsolete and we have creative destruction, and then that's where the real progress comes from. I'm not too concerned with what anybody else is doing for the most part. I concentrate on what I think that the market needs, what the RX-8 needs, and I've only got a few more ideas to run, and then I'm done building out my product line. Catback's coming out pretty soon. Lightweight power plant frames on the horizon. I can bring that up. Bring that idea back up, and there's like 2 others I can't think of offhand, but they're on my project board.
Parts.
Yeah. I still have to prove myself in the 8 community at this point. I'm only 11 years into it. Look at all these guys, you know. So anyhow, I just wanted to mention that because we were at the booth earlier talking about it, and I forgot to tell that part of the story. But since I have a captive audience, I thought I'd lay it on you. That there's a lot of stuff we go through on the back end of things that people don't generally hear about. So thanks for the time.